Hello everybody, it's Melissa Faust from stampwithmelissa.com here, and welcome to today's video. Now, I normally don't post videos on Thursday nights, but when my friend Julie Salva asked if I wanted to be part of a friendly competition, I couldn't turn it down. So I am super duper excited to be in this Julie and Friends video series, competition, whatever you want to call it, for the next 3 weeks. So tonight and 2 more weeks with Amy Story and Lisa Bowden joining as well. So the purpose, what you're here to do, you are here to watch my project tonight. Then you're going to head down to the description of this video and click over to the other videos that you haven't seen, Julie, Lisa, and Amy's videos, if the ones you haven't seen yet. Watch all 4 videos and be inspired, craft along, make the projects that we are making. That's what we're here for. And you can also vote for your favorite by hitting that thumbs up button. And I won't tell if you hit the thumbs up on all of them. So today we are going to make a fun project. Today's theme for all of us was to use something retiring. And so I used a couple of things that are retiring, but I used my first and foremost, my absolute favorite item that is retiring, which is the Ocean Friends bundle and the Friends of the Ocean DSP. So this is the project we are going to make together. It is a pop-up gift card holder, so you can see that there. I am going to give measurements during tonight's video, so you can check that out as well. But as I mentioned, make sure you head over and watch the other videos tonight too. So this video is the first in the series, so it is posting on April 10th, 2025. There will be 2 more, one on April 17th, and the last one will be on April 24th. So let's go ahead and get started. One of my absolute favorite sets that's retiring, sadly, is Ocean Friends, so I wanted to play with this one. I did go ahead, I mounted, we're only using 1 stamp. I think the dies in the DSP do like absolutely so much work in this set. I just love it. So I did go ahead, I mounted a couple of we're using more than 1. We're using Hello Friend on the outside. We're going to use the bubbles and the seaweed on the inside, so 3. You know, that's the same thing as 1. I also pre-die cut something, so we're going to go ahead and get started. But Julie told me to try to keep this around 15 minutes, and I don't know if she knows me because that's going to be really hard. So I tried to do as much prep work as possible. So for this Melon Mambo piece, we are going to have this. I already pre-cut and scored, but this is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 3 3/4 3 3/4 and 9 1/4. Words are hard. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish this. Now this is going to be kind of like a gatefold. You can think of it that way, where these are going to come in and meet each other, okay? So just like so. And then this bigger flap is going to be on the top, all right? So there's that piece. We have got lots of pieces here. This is going to be our front, so we're going to go ahead and take care of that real quick. So let's start here. So I've got this basic white piece. This could be any color, but I really like matting my DSP. I think it helps. Like, instead of just this, I think having the white under there just really helps it to pop. So this guy is 4 by 3 1/2. Okay. And the DSP is 1/8 of an inch smaller. I'm 1/8 of an inch girl, but if you like 1/4 inch measurements, you can do that. But this one is 3 7/8 by 3 3/8. So let's go ahead. I'm going to use that fun wave side. Well, come on, seal. There we go. We are going to add some seal and layer this onto our basic white mat. Cute. And add some seal. And now this is the fun part. You can kind of decide. I think I might have the darker pink down and the lighter up above. And this is going to go, so just so you can see it a little bit better, it's going right on this larger of the front flaps. Okay? Like so. All right. Then we've got some for the bottom as well. So we've got this piece of basic white. Same thing. It's just a mat. So this is 4 by 1 1/2. And then this DSP is 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. So just an 1/8 of an inch smaller again. And then you can see this is the opposite side of the DSP we have up above. Originally, I was going to do the same pattern, and then I was like, no, this piece here has some oranges in it too in the full pack or the full sheet of DSP. And so I was like, oh, I really lucked out because that was an accident that I cut like the pink part. So, you know, and again, I think the fans can go this way. So we're going to layer this one here. Okay. So we've got that all added like this. Now we're actually going to go to the inside. I'm going to decorate everything last. So we've got lots of pieces here for the inside. We're going to start with this 4 by 2 3/4. This is going to be the panel you want to do any stamping on. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of that. I'm going to pull out, if you've watched me before, you know I love my messy scrap. This is how much I love these guys. I swear to you, there's got to be more. Look at how much I love them. Those are all lobsters and crabs. I love this set so much. This is one where it's like, it's never leaving my craft stash, okay? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with Pool Party ink. We are just pulling out a lot of fun, bright, cheery colors because this is going to be a really fun gift card holder for summer. So I'm going to just stamp a couple of seaweeds here. Stamp that one, and it's got that little cutout groove, so I'm just going to take this other one so it looks more like almost like a bush or something. It just looks a little bit fuller. And so we've got that, but on this piece I don't want to add too much detail. It is a smaller piece, right? It's about half the size ish of what you normally would have for the inside of your card, so I don't want to take up too much space. And I'm just going to add some bubbles because I thought they were cute. So the rest of that can be for writing. If you want to add a sentiment, you absolutely can. Okay, so I can remove my messy scrap paper, and we're going to add some seal on the back, or your adhesive of choice. And what I'm going to do is we're going to open up our card, and this is actually going to go, I'm going to just tilt this because I'm a right-handed gal, so I like to use my left hand to hold things. But this is going to go up here. It's actually the top of our card on the inside, and I'm making sure I have that equal margin on the sides and the top. I know we have this big section left over at the bottom, but I promise it's going to get used. So we're okay leaving that there, okay? All right, so what we're going to do next, I want to show you this piece here. This is Coastal Cabana. This is our fun little gift card mechanism here. So this is 3.5 by 7. I scored it at 1/2 inch and 5 inches, okay? And what we're going to do is this is actually going to go this way. And this is going to tuck up this way, and that's going to tuck back, and it's going to get adhered to that bottom Melon Mambo piece. So we want that fold this way, and this one's going to go back, okay? Just like so. And I don't know about you, I'm like a crazy burnisher. I just really like to make sure things are stuck. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, you can kind of see the dimension of this. Let me open this. You can see here how that's going to lay. We've got space at the sides, right? So I'm going to use my trusty tear and tape because I love tear and tape. I love tape. I like seal. I like tear and tape. I am not a liquid glue girl. Will I use it if I have to? Yes. Will I use it in today's video? Yes. Will it probably get all over me and I'll think, Melissa, you really should have added an adhesive sheet to that? Also, yes. All right, so you can see there, I added that tear and tape to the sides. I like to just use my snips just to peel off that backing, and then I don't close them all the way, but I use them as a little, like, pincher, I guess. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Okay, I'm a math person. I have a full-time job in accounting, so sometimes you just have to roll with it, okay? Because I don't always know what the words are. Julie's going to have us covered on the words. But anyway, so I folded that up. You can't really see, right, because it's the card base, but I promise you, there you have it. Okay, so it is a pocket, but not a pocket that we're really going to put stuff in other than this guy here. So what we need to do first before we adhere anything down, you can see I've got that 1/2 inch strip at the top. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some DSP. This is 3.25 by 3.25. And I didn't mat this because I didn't think this was as important. And yeah. And what we're going to do is we're going to do similar to what we did here. We're going to make sure this lines up on the top, left, and right-hand sides. We're going to have a big gap at the bottom, but that's okay because we're going to fold up that bottom piece for a panel, or a pocket, I mean. And I didn't want to cover a large section of this DSP. Like, I didn't want to cut more than I needed, okay? Now, before we do that, I'm just going to flip this. So if you want to do it this way, you can, but we're going to add DSP to the front here. So I'm just going to flip it like this. Grab this DSP, which is 3.25 by 1 3/4, and add some seal. And then this, luckily, is non-directional. We're going to add that here. All right, then I just have this circle punch. We're gonna just go ahead and cut a little notch here just to make it a little easier for our recipient to grab that gift card or cash or whatever you're gonna put in there, okay? So it's just a little notch. And what we're gonna do, same thing here, we're gonna grab our tear and tape or your liquid glue or your Seal Plus, that would work too, and just make that little pocket. So I'm just gonna add that tear and tape on the sides. And I'm doing it on the flap that folds up because if I did it on here, which you could do, you risk running it too high and then it would be exposed and you don't want that. So we have got those. We can use our snips then to peel off the backings. 1 and 2, and then we can fold this guy up. Okay, look how fun that is. What kind of fun gift card could you put in there? Like Bubba Gump or something? I don't know. Okay, so then I'm going to tuck this guy. If I can pick it up. There we go. Tuck this guy in to our pocket. Okay, and I'm going to line this up. So this is laying flat here. And I'm going to line that up with our score line, and I'm making sure it's centered-ish, okay? Because what's going to happen, I'm going to fold this down, and whenever we pick this up, this is going to pull not all of the way, but partially out of the pocket. So it's a really fun like lift and reveal. So I've got the edge of my Coastal Cabana lined up with that Melon Mambo score line there, okay? Now I'm going to run my tear and tape along that 1/2 inch Coastal Cabana flap there. Okay, peel off that backing. And then we can just, and again, might have wiggled it a little, so I'm not committing yet. I just want to make sure that I don't have it over too far where it's going to butt against it, right? And so I'm just making sure that looks good to me, and I'm just going to fold this flat. Now watch, ready? Cool, huh? See how that lifts? Isn't that so fun? And then you can fit a cute little gift card in there. Let me grab. Look at that. Isn't that fun? So you can have that. This would be great for just because. It would be great for a thank you gift, a birthday gift, a graduation gift. I did make one of these last year for a graduation gift, and I thought that was really fun. Okay, you know what, Melissa? Before we commit to ribbon, let's decorate. Okay, so I have got a bowl here with lots of pieces because I didn't want them to all get lost. And like I said, I did pre-do these because, I don't know, how else was I going to keep this short enough? And you know how to stamp and die cut. I know you do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my liquid glue. But first, let's dry fit these. So I want this cute little... This was die cut out of the pastel ombre paper, as were these little starfish, okay? You can see there's like a lemon lime twist color, and then this one is like, honestly, I don't know if it's Pool Party into Pretty Peacock or what, but it's gorgeous. And then this is well, yeah, we're gonna do it. Okay, so we're gonna add pink lobster, we're gonna add this orange crab, and then I have this die cut I already did, but I don't know if I love it. So we could feed it under here, but then like where does the sentiment go? So you just have to play with it, or we could put the sentiment down here, which I don't love that. So if we had this guy here like this, what if we put the lobster over here? And I like when they peek out of that seaweed just a little bit, although I don't want it going off the edge, right? I don't know. Okay, let me fiddle with this and I'll be back. Okay, here's what I think I got for the front. I'm going to just keep it simple, right? Because we can always use things on different projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the thanks so much in Night of Navy ink because I just want something real rich that stands out. And I'm going to stamp this over towards that right-hand side. Okay, close up my ink so we don't make a mess. And I am going to use my seal to adhere this down onto the card front. And I'm going to pull it not all the way to the edge, but pretty dang close. And then we're going to take the seaweed and we're going to use our liquid glue. This is where we might regret using liquid glue in a minute or two. Haha, I didn't mean to rhyme. Okay, come on. Gosh, I think that I'm not a huge liquid glue fan because A, it goes everywhere, and B, because like this is new. Like this is recently opened. And still, sometimes it doesn't come out, and then you're like squeezing it and then it just gushes and it just can't do it. Okay, so what we can do is chop some things off maybe, or put it like this, but then that's going to hang over. So what I think I might do is glue this, and then before I press down all the way, I'm actually going to use my snips to cut this one off. And hopefully, I probably added glue to it, but that's okay, it didn't stick, okay? Because our lobster then can cover that little area, right? And maybe we'll save that. So if our lobster goes here, you can't even tell. Or just make sure, because this can hang down on this piece, but just to make sure that it doesn't, I don't know, you know what I mean? Or add the crab. But I thought that looked too busy, so I don't think we're going to add that crab. But we could do, how about like that? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to add some dimensionals to the, oh, look at that, you guys. I told you. Okay. Now, was that my fault? Yes, of course it was, but that still doesn't mean I'm going to be okay with it. Okay, so let's add this lobster down like so, and then if we want, we can either sneak this back in somewhere or like that, or I might save it for the inside of the card. I probably took off all of that. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. Okay, we're gonna just try again with our liquid glue and add a little bit and just add these as decoration. Oh, stay there and not on my finger. Okay, we're not gonna do liquid glue. Here's what we're gonna do. This is the Melissa trick. We use our silicone mat and we hope for the best. And we just add a little bit of seal, and anything that hangs over the edge, not a big deal because we can roll it back on itself. Okay, so just anything exposed. There we go. Look at that, didn't stick to my finger. Okay, in all reality, I know liquid glue has its purposes. That's just, yeah. Anyway, okay, so we've got that. I wanted to add some of this ribbon on the bottom, the peach pie. I thought that would be fun because I just did. So I want to add this, and this bottom piece isn't what opens, right? This is what opens. So I wanted to just go ahead and tie, maybe even like a knot would look cute. So we'll just cut off some ribbon here. And I want that to be centered like so, and we'll just tie a knot. Okay, I think that's cute. And of course, we'll trim these edges. And then you could use a glue dot if you wanted to hold the knot in place, but I'm not going to worry about it. Haha, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I promise I'll be done. Okay, so this opens up. I wanted to add a little bit of decoration. This might be too much to add though. But we could add like one crab and a little bit of like the seaweed. Especially if it tucked, well, no. Go something like this. But I don't want anything extending past the crab. I'm going to cut that longer one in half. Let's try it like this. And then we want to make sure our adhesive only stays on the flap, right? So that we can get our card in it. I don't know. Do I like these? Do you like these? They look funny all bunched together. Maybe we just want two. But then that one gets hidden. I don't know. You guys, you can tell. Sometimes creativity is just a process. I think we're going to skip the seaweed. Oh, I have this one. What if we put that guy here? It's still sticky, so like this, and then like, yeah, not this one, but like that. Okay, we're going with it. Committing. Okay. Something like this. And then there's no extra adhesive, so we can still get the gift card out and you can still write up here. How's that? Look, we have extra pieces, which is all right. We can save those for another card. And that's that. Look at this fun card. What do you think? Oh, I totally forgot about the fact that this crab is going to get in the way. Yeah, that's not going to work. Hold on. Hold on. We're not done. We're not done. You know, you got to think about those things too, Melissa. Okay, so if this was closed all the way, that crab, what if he sat here? No. Okay, just kidding. We're not having that on the inside. Well, what if he went up here? Am I ridiculous or what? Yeah, probably. Or he could be like a surprise underneath. I don't know. No, we're probably just not going to add him. We'll put him on something else. Okay, there's our card. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I forgot. Well, we have those, we have the starfish on here, but I was going to maybe add in some of these. These are retiring too, the 2024 to 2026 in color resin dots, and they have peach pie ones. So I'm going to add one there. Come here. And one right next to it. Like that. Okay, so make sure that you go around in the description of this video. I will have links to Lisa, Amy, and Julie's videos as well. Make sure you go around and watch all 4 of the videos, so those 3 as well as mine. And go ahead and leave a like, a thumbs up on the one that you enjoyed the most for the competition. But I bet that, you know, they're all going to be really awesome, and they probably didn't mess up like I did, but it's okay. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week for episode 2 of Julie and Friends featuring Lisa, Amy, and Melissa. Bye for now.